Welcome to this quantum healing episode with Sherri Divband. You can find her here on YouTube and also on our website at intuitivewellnesscenter.com. I had to read that. Sherri, welcome back to the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me back. It's so nice to see you.
It's always good to have you. And of course, you and I, just before the show, all these weird things happening at the same time. I'm like, wait a second. Isn't Mercury retrograde supposed to be over yesterday? Why are we all discombobulated here today? What's going on with you, Sherri?
I know. Anything that could have gone wrong, like literally 3 minutes before I was supposed to start this meeting, like it happened. I mean, from computer switching to internet going down. I mean, it was just, but we're in now. Everything's good.
Yes, and I just realized I still have the spaceship behind you. I'm on the wrong channel altogether. So,
okay, let's keep it up.
Yeah, I'm just as guilty. Okay. Welcome, folks. This is the Wacky Woo Show, not the Sherri Divband Show. All right. I wanted to, where do we want to start? I saw this video you posted a couple of days ago about this message from Alpha Centauri. I know it made quite a bit of the rounds here on YouTube land. So maybe we could start there, Sherri, and share with this audience. Let me bring the link down also for them so that they can go and watch it. But share with them the highlights here, how this came to be, and what feedback you're getting since you put out this video here.
Yeah, let's start there. So as many of you know watching this, maybe some of you are watching me for the first time, but I work a lot with children, and autistic children, nonverbal children, Asperger's, and all the labeled children. And I had a session recently with this amazing little boy. He lives in the United States, and the mother reached out to me. There wasn't anything in particular that she was struggling with, other than the fact that he's nonverbal, but they seem to communicate pretty well with each other. And she just wanted to see what he had to say. And just, she's seen me on interviews, and she was like, I just love to talk to you. So I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. I was like, all right, well, let's see what he has to say. And as soon as I connected with his energy, he was just this strong, wise, like almost like, when you're a child and you're talking to a principal, and you're just like you're a little bit nervous. I had this nervousness because I was like, who is this? Like, I could tell, like, I wasn't communicating with an earth being. And he introduced himself as Eden, from Alpha Centauri, and he was telling me, and I've talked about this in other shows and yours, how I met somebody recently from the New Earth Collective, and they have a station in Alpha Centauri, and a lot of
the group of seven. What was that? That gentleman was a group of seven, or what was that number? Do you remember?
I believe that one might have been more. I don't remember, to be honest.
Keep going. Keep going.
I talked to that's why I have to keep so many notes, because I can't remember.
Yeah.
So this New Earth Collective has a training facility on Alpha Centauri, and a lot of souls, especially evolved souls, but haven't really been to Earth before, or maybe very, very few times, train there on how to be on Earth, how to be in a body, and what their role is and what they're coming in for. And so I've known about this, and I've met several since then. Well, the other day when I connected with this nonverbal boy, he was, I believe he's 4 or 5 years old. And I knew right away I needed to just channel, because he was speaking to me so quickly. So I just quickly grabbed my paper. And this happens a lot when I do sessions with people. I connect either to their higher self or a guide, and they start channeling a message, and I just have to write it, because I'm not going to remember. And so I just started writing, and I couldn't write fast enough. My hand was cramping, and 4 pages later, I was like, this is a profound message. And I was getting choked up just kind of reviewing it with his mother. And I said, I told his mother, I said,
Sherri, hold on just a sec. My dog's about to go ballistic. I'll be right back, but just keep going. Okay, keep going.
Okay. Mine is too, but I don't think you guys can hear my dog barking. I don't know. So anyways, I lost JC. Now I don't even know where to look. I'm just going to look at myself. Okay. So I connected, and I told his mother, I said, this is really profound. I think this is a message for humanity that we need to share. And I got her permission, of course. And I said, I won't share his real name, or where you all live, or any personal details. But I am going to share, with your permission, this 4-page channeled message. And I did. And I had no idea response that I was going to get. I mean, it was incredible. I was like, oh, maybe a couple hundred people will watch it, and it will resonate with them, and it'll lift up their day, because it was a very positive message. And it's a longer message, so I encourage any of you that haven't seen it to go and watch it on my channel. It's only 20 some minutes or something, so it's not that long, but I can't even try to replicate in his words what he said. But the gist of it, I mean, I'll try, of course, to tell your audience, but the gist of it was that the primary message was about telepathy, and how our language was created to restrict us. And that was one of the things that the powers that were started eons ago, because we started speaking telepathically. We always have originally. Mm-hmm. And we started using, including verbal and words into our communication. But as we know, it's very limiting. And we often find ourselves saying, you know, there are no words to describe. That if you could just feel my energy or tap into what I'm feeling, it's so much more profound than the words that I can come up with. We've all been there before. And so a lot of the nonverbal children are coming in choosing to be nonverbal, so that they're encouraging people to tap in and and connect energetically with one another, so that we can take the words out and we can connect in a much more profound way, because words are so limiting. And words also have power depending on how they're charged. And if you connect with somebody energetically, you take that charge away, and the essence is there. The truth is there. And so a lot of these children, you know, I have a lot of mothers say that they're worried. Not this particular mother, she was at peace with it, but you know, how can I encourage my child to speak? And I think I've spoken about this before publicly. Like, I would always try to convince these poor children, and when I connected to their higher self, you know, but you are on earth, you know, please try to speak our language, because that's how we communicate. And if you wanted to come in here, you know, this is how we do things here. You know, I didn't know any better, right? I'm human, I'm learning. And more of them started telling me, no, actually, Sherry, you're wrong. You know, because these souls are wise. They're not 4 or 5-year-olds. They're more evolved than me. And they said, you have to step out of that and understand that we're here to teach you a different way, because where we are headed in the future, and I was actually given a date of 2030, will be a profound marking period in which humanity starts to move in the direction of more telepathic and energetic communication and less verbal, where we will get to a point where we're pretty much doing both. But we're very good and developed in the telepathic arena, and the children know how to do that. How do you know, when our babies are born, they can't speak. They communicate with us energetically. It's just the parents and we don't understand or always perceive what it is that we need, which is why we get frustrated and we look at the baby. We say, why are you crying? What do you need? I fed you. You ate. You know, you went to the bathroom. What is it? And they're just they have things to say, and they're trying to communicate with you, but we're just not understanding it. So they're here to teach us how to do that. So that was the message. That was the first part of the message, was that is what they're here to do. Stop trying to change them. And that they're different. You know, we may not be the same as other children. We may do things differently. We may not want to play with toys. We may not want to interact. Allow us to be, because we are trying to show you a different way. And there's nothing wrong with us. There's nothing you need to fix. So that was the main message about the telepathic part of it. But what was more profound, and I think what got a lot of people's attention, you know, Elena Denon was even commenting on how accurate it was compared to what she was getting. And Eden gave me this analogy of this beehive, and how the powers that have been controlling us in this beehive mentality for such a long time, and now it's breaking down. And you know, the queen of the hive has lost its power, and now all of the other minions that have been connecting to her are scrambling, and they're either being taken off planet, they've left on their own, you know, just running away, but they're being disconnected and they've lost their power. And he was saying that this fall, literally as we go through the fall and the leaves from the trees fall to the ground, it will mark our liberation and our freedom, and that we truly are free, and this spiritual war is just about over. I believe it has been over for a while, but a lot of it's playing out. I was in a session today where I actually got that message. But then in the winter time, when the winter solstice comes, we will see that grand shift, and then dawn will be the new day, or however he said it. But it was quite beautiful, quite profound, and it really hit home for a lot of people. And I can't tell you, I got hundreds of emails. I haven't even answered half of them, and I apologize if you're one of those. I cannot keep up with the emails. I was so grateful that I got so much positive reaction. I just can't respond to them all. But it really went viral, and it was being shared everywhere. And I felt so grateful, such gratitude for Eden, because I said, your message really hit home. And a lot of people, I mean, I think it's gotten 12,000 views at this point, and 99% of the reactions were all positive. You know, there are always trolls that are going to say something negative and awful. And I think one person said I was possessed. Yeah, right? I'm possessed by something, right? So
of course you're possessed. You actually had 14,000. I just checked.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. So yeah, and you know, the 14 negative comments, like, you know, I send you light, and unless you're a bot, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyways, and I feel like I'm going to be communicating with this soul very soon when there's more information coming through. So anybody that hasn't seen it at this point, I highly recommend you check it out, because it really will make you feel more positive. And that's what we need right now. We need some positive messages for everybody, because there's a lot of negativity going on, and there's a lot of fear mongering, and people are losing hope. And that's what they're trying to do to us. You know, they're hanging on by a thread, and they're really just trying to yank us down in vibration however they can. And Eden just came in at the most beautiful time and had such a beautiful message to share. And so,
well, I'm actually proud to be able to share his message even further here with our audience, because I think it's very important. And I love the way the dates align with a lot of the other stuff that we're looking at right now too. So this fall, Cliff High was talking about October 28th, which is a critical date and time. It could be the 24th, 28th, or maybe 4 days after. There's always some lag time in his processing of his data. But on the 28th, he said that after that day, or whenever the day actually falls upon, we will know for that day that we never go backwards. We will all know as humans that there's a limitation or a delineation between the old world and the new world we're coming in. We'll all know for a fact. So he doesn't know what the event will be, but the event will be such that every human will be, you know, galvanized into this new world, or this new knowing. Of course, the age of Aquarius is here also. So that's fabulous. The no words thing, it's funny you bring that up. Let me see here. It was 2-3 days ago. Let's see if I can find the video here. Mariam and I, on the Quantum Woo, we interviewed Danny Katz. She wrote this book, Word Up. It's called Quantum Languaging. And in it, I was describing how her experience as a child, but also me as a child, I was always angry and frustrated because I couldn't communicate what I wanted to communicate. I didn't have the words. I knew what I meant to say. I knew this planet was wrong, and I was trying to share that with people. And my parents kept going like, what's wrong with this kid? Why is he not happy? I'm like, no, this planet is all wrong. And I was trying to explain that. And even to this day, in her second book here, she's talking about how we are in the process now of recreating our structures, our governance structures, our education structures, all these things. And she was struggling to find the words. I'm like, yes, me too. It keeps me up at night. It's something holographic. It's something organic, human. It's not systems like the old systems. We're not fixing the old stuff. That's for sure. We're building something new. So I love the fact that perhaps humans are now, either because, as you say, the Queen and their minions are losing power, and thus the energy field that they're putting on us to suppress these abilities of telepathy might be reduced or completely removed, or on the same by the same token, our energy is rising, and we are going to be reclaiming those abilities that are innate to this beautiful being that we're into. So if we can get into telepathy, then imagine the things we can create, because now it's not just 2-3 words, it's holographic in communication. That's very exciting. And 2030, of course, is the year that the bad guys want to put us into this reset where we own nothing and we're happy. So it's funny, they're looking at that day too to try to quash us back into nothingness. They might know something about Alpha Centauri also. Did Eden talk about maybe some of those plans from these people, or hints as to why maybe they're so hard pressed right now to push everything forward in terms of their mandates?
Well, no, he did not, because the message, I mean, it was literally those 4 pages. I shared it exactly how it was relayed, and that was it. What I do know is I've had many other sessions, uh, all my sessions, I never know who I'm going to talk to and what information I'm going to get. And I've had several sessions in the past few weeks. See, now my dog is barking. Hopefully you guys can't hear that. Where it was very similar in that they are desperately trying, and I think this is the minions again, like they're desperately trying to push these things through, so that they can hang on to whatever shred of power that they still have. But what I keep being told is that they don't have any power. It's an illusion. And I know a lot of people will get angry at that statement, because they're saying, well, no, that's not true. I know my neighbor or my friend actually had to get this done because they didn't want to get fired from their job, or this happened. So yes, things are happening, but please understand that a lot of people signed up. Everybody is playing their role in this spiritual war. And some have signed on for the ultimate sacrifice. And that is to have fatalities and things like that for our learning, for our growth, for exposure. So there's a lot happening right now. But I did have a session actually today, and it was a group of Arcturians, and I can't even explain to you how I got to this state. And I'm not going to share everything, because I feel like I'm not supposed to. But they were showing me something, and they took me up these levels of consciousness, and all of a sudden I was placed, and I had the ability to see but not be seen. Okay, and I was in this room. I don't even know where we were. It wasn't on Earth. And it was a table of individuals, and those are the individuals I will not say, because some of them, everybody knows who they are, and then some didn't look like they were from Earth. And they were having a conversation, and there was a holographic image in the center of the table up above, and they were conversing with other beings. And it wasn't like our normal conversation. It wasn't like a board meeting where one person spoke. I'm telling you, it was a complete download that I got within 30 seconds of what the conversation was about. And I will just say that there were world leaders and very famous people, and these other beings, and what the conversation was, and what basically, I'll sum it up, is that the reason that we've had this delay, we've already won. Actually, in this download that I got, we won like 6 months ago or longer. Okay, so this is just strategy playing out. And what they were showing, or what I was seeing rather, was that they're trying, the issue is they're trying delicately how to handle the exposure part, because of the unknown reaction of the sleepers that wake up suddenly, and the civil unrest and all of the things. And as things crumble, the education system, the medical, I mean, it all is inevitable. We already know it's going to happen, and it is already happening. It's already occurring. They're trying to figure out the best way to move forward in the highest good of all of humanity, with the least, because I could see things, psychotic episodes of people running down the street, people, taking their life. I mean, it was incredible. And they were trying to slow it down so that they said, what is the best way we can move forward with the least amount of casualties? And it was very multidimensional. And there were so many things happening and so many plans. And it was like my brain was going to explode, because I couldn't comprehend all of it. And so I feel like that's the piece I took away. So everybody getting angry that things are taking too long, or it's necessary, because this is a very strategic period, because we are in the 11th hour, and we're trying to figure out, okay, we've already won. Now, we played this game for such a long time. Now, how do we tell the public? How do we handle this? And how do we move forward? That's in the best and highest interest of humanity, with the least amount of psychotic episodes and people going crazy, and gently waking up those people that, I'm sorry, but a lot of them are really good people. They just don't know better. They have been so programmed, which is what I wanted to talk about next. And, they're very good people, and we need to have compassion for them, because everybody watching this probably has a mother or a father or a sister or a brother or a spouse or a child or a friend that is one of those people. And we need to have compassion and empathy for them, because their world is about to be rocked, and they're going to need guidance. And that is where all the healers and all of the compassion and empathetic, beautiful people out there step in. So it was very profound, but I don't think I'm allowed to share much more than that. But it really helped me understand kind of the level of which the planning is taking place and how multidimensional it is and how many moving parts there are, that you can't just be like, look, let's have a 1-day fest on the TV and let's just put it all out there. Like, it doesn't work that way. And so there are things that have to happen in certain ways and in certain time frames to slowly get people. You know, when you get in the pool, I'm one of those people, I can't jump in the pool. I gotta like slowly get used to the temperature, and I'm like one step at a time, and everyone's like, just get in the pool, Sherry. And I'm like, no, I'll be over here. And I take like 10 minutes. I'm like, you know, but that's how it has to be right now. We can't just jump in the pool. We can't all jump in the pool. So
yeah. There's no room for everybody to jump at the pool at the same time. Okay, and you said a lot there, and I want to break down a few pieces of it. So one, this idea of the psychotic breaks. Janine and I have been talking about this on the show for a while. Catherine Edwards and I have been talking for a while. Penny Kelly, to some extent, also, we've been talking about this. And these are not the most popular episodes. I got to tell you, a lot of people have issues with those episodes, and they write comments like, oh, you guys are just downers. You're just, fear mongering. You're just, what's the other word I get? You're creating that reality, so to speak. And we're all cautioning that actually a lot of this is already baked in the cake. We know this, and it ties into why we're waiting this long. We're trying to find the situations to reduce that as best possible. And so by talking about it, by educating, by desensitizing people about some of these revelations to come, we're trying to reduce that number. And I understand that my role here on YouTube is that, yours is that partially. Like, we all have different missions here, but ultimately sharing this knowledge and reducing the damage, I think, is what we're after. And this is why there's all of these delays. I used to be frustrated with delays. Now I'm like, not so much so. I'm tuning in to the frequency of, yeah, we've already won. But like Cliff High said too, it's the first time in history where humans are fighting a war. They're going to win, but they're only going to suffer the consequences after they win. This is what you're alluding to here, right? And so we have to deal with that. We have to understand, one, the compassion for these people who are going to lose their shit. Two, there are people who are leaving. There's no two ways about this. And so there are a lot of people are saying, no, don't worry, Mr. T's coming back and he's got cures for everybody. Okay, maybe for some percentage of people, yes. But for other groups, like Sherry said, they came here and they were planning on the ultimate sacrifice. It's part of this spiritual war and their personal journey here too. So that means that a lot of us might be left behind dealing with the aftermath of their sudden departure, the kids, the family, all of these members. So again, yes. So Ronnie's saying yes. There's a lot there that needs still to be discussed. It's not fear porn. It's about prepping us for what's to come. But at the same time, those of us who are on this frequency, we also know that on the other side of that, it's absolutely glorious, right? And we're excited for that. And Cliff is also saying sometimes, man, I wake up some morning, I feel like a kid in a candy store, but then I realize, oh, wait, not yet. It's not Christmas yet, right? We have to go through this little thing here just before us. So I had produced this video and I had put it only on BitChute because some of the wordings would not have passed muster here on YouTube. But I was talking about battlefield promotions. And in there, I was intuitively guided to say, a lot of people are going to wake up really, really quick here and going to have to swallow that red pill in such a small period of time that it'll be up to all of us, whether you're a seasoned YouTuber or just scratching the surface now of reality, you're going to be called to step up to get that battlefield promotion, because suddenly you'll be responsible to help a lot of people navigate these times. Again, those of us who have this information, we're here to diminish as best possible the collateral damage there that we were just talking about. So thank you for bringing that up. And again, not popular topics. A lot of people want hopium, and I get that. There's value also in creating positivity in our world, but there's also a saying that says you can ignore reality, but you can't ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. And we see in reality now already some of these things that are baked in the cake in terms of these damages that we're about to suffer, even though we're winning, or if not have already won this war. Fascinating. Okay. Do you have anything else you want to add to that, or do you want to move now to the next topic of these loops? And I was reminding. Go
Sorry, I
ahead.
didn't mean to interrupt you. Yeah, I think this actually goes right into the loop, so we can just merge over there.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Let me cue that up a little bit, Dill. I'll pretend I'm the host. Okay. You're too quick, Sherry. Okay, so folks, yes. Just before the show, there, Sherry and I were talking. I'm like, oh, it reminds me of that show Westworld, when the programmer guy Hopkins, I think he says to Dolores, "You're out of your loop, Dolores." And of course, Dolores is running her program into her loop, and as soon as they go out of the loops, the programmers go, "Hey, what the hell just happened? These guys are not supposed to do that."
yeah.
So they're talking about. Well, I won't do any spoilers for you if you haven't seen that show. Maybe go check it out. There's a lot there that shows how perhaps more controlled we are than we actually think here on the planet in terms of these programs. With that being said, Sherry, what do you have to share with that?
Yes. So I wrote a chapter in my book, the second book, Divinely Guided, and it was a message for children. But I really feel like this relays right now more than ever before to adults, because this is where we are. So the chapter is called "Getting Out of the Loop," and this was created years ago because my first son I had young. I was 23. And he was a only child for 7 years before the second one came. And so so his little brother was quite annoying to him at that time because he was a little bit older, and he had this annoying little brother around him all the time, just nagging him and pushing buttons. That's what toddlers do. They push buttons to everybody, their brothers, their parents, and I would always see my son get so upset at his younger brother, and he would go crazy, like, "Stop it," like this. And I would always look at him and I would say, "Hey, stop giving away your power. You know that you're in control of your emotions and how you react, and the only reason that he's bothering you right now is because you're giving him a reaction. And that means that you are giving your power to somebody else. Don't ever give your power to anybody else. I don't care who it is, because you are always in control of how you react. And if you allow somebody to get you so upset, then they win. And then guess what happens? They will continue to bother you and push those buttons every single day." And he, it took him a while to get that, but and I still do it now with my youngest two because they're closer together. They're twins. They're 2 years apart, but I swear they're the exact same size. They're twins in every way possible. And they do it to each other. And I've had to have that talk with them recently. I say, stop giving your power away to your brother, to your sister. Never let anybody control you like that. You can always control your reaction to any situation. And so so this has come up a lot recently in my sessions with adults, because they're in similar situations where they're getting reaction. They're giving their power away to other people in their life, and they are reacting to it. They are reacting to CNN. They are reacting to their coworkers who had this and calling them terrible things, and reacting to the family members that are not on board, that are not awake. And there's all of this argument out there. And right now we are in a process of deprogramming. That's what we need to be doing right now. We need to disconnect. And a lot of the messages that I've been getting in my sessions from people's spirit guides or family, soul family, is that they need to take their power back. They need to empower themselves and remember that we're sovereign beings, and we need to disconnect from the fear matrix, because that's what we're in. The third dimension is a web, a dark web of fear. It's a matrix of fear. It's been shown to me so many different metaphorical ways, like my head's going to explode. But when we are in that mode of reality, our vibration, we are anchored in to a lower vibration. The density, all of the lower vibrational emotions that people give off due to just chronic stress and fatigue and worry, and then amplified by the last 2 years of what's been happening. People are they're stuck in this lower vibration, and so they are reacting. They're giving their power away. And what I have been told is we need to stand up and take our power back and stop reacting, because we can't control our environment and what people do. But and this is what my first book was about, is about our emotions. Our emotions have power, an energy associated with it, and we can control how we react to anything. We have that power to say, I'm going to stay mad at you for X amount of time, or you let it go. We cannot control our environment because it's out of our control. And so disconnecting from the loop, or getting out of the loop, is disconnecting from the fear matrix and recognizing that you're in it and it is an illusion, and connecting to the quantum field of energy, because the quantum field of energy is infinite. There are infinite possibilities of manifestation. But when you're in a low vibration, you put that energy out there, and then you're going to attract that same energy back. So a lot of the clients that I have perpetual, let's say, abusive relationships. But they have what they don't realize is they have a program running in the back of their subconscious saying, I'm not good enough. I don't deserve love. I'm not beautiful. I'm not worthy. And so they disconnect from a relationship. And the next thing you know, another person that is exactly the same walks right into their life. And they don't realize that the vibration that they're giving off is that vibration that's running in the back of their mind because of all of the trauma that they've received, or not received, but they've been throughout their life. And so it's all about being mindful and aware, because we have the power to disconnect from that vibration and tap into the quantum field of energy and say, you know what? Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am beautiful. I am good enough. I do deserve love. And then you give gratitude as if it's already happened. I'm so grateful that I met the most amazing partner that respects me and gives me love. You have to change your thoughts. When you change your thoughts, you will change and shift the energy, and you will change your life, because you are then tapping into a quantum field as opposed to the matrix fear vibration that we have been programmed in and enslaved in. And we have the ability, each and every person watching this, to get out of it just by your intention. We have been made to believe that our intention isn't powerful. We have to seek outward to get advice and clarity. And we pray for things to happen. And that's wrong. We have the power to attract whatever it is that we want, but we have to believe it. That subconscious mind has to run the program of, I am good enough. I am loved. I am worthy. I am. The statements have to be I am instead of I wish, because then you are having gratitude for something that's already occurred. And I talk about this in the first book. I talk about it in the second book for the children, but it's really getting out of the loop. We have to disconnect from the fear matrix and reprogram ourselves into a higher vibration, and everything will change. And that is what people should be focusing on right now, more than anything else. And maybe take a break from podcasts for an hour during the day and say, you know what, instead of listening to this person talk, I'm going to take an hour to work on myself and start paying attention to your thoughts, because your thoughts have power, and your words, anything you put your energy to will manifest. The universe will match that. And right now we need to manifest in gratitude and in love, instead of enslavement and I am not good enough and I am not worthy, because that's where the programming has been in many people's lives. And right now we're disconnecting from that, and it's incredible. And this is the first time in a very long time on this planet where we've had an opportunity where the collective masses of people are waking up and realizing this, and then connecting to their power and saying, hold on a second, I don't consent anymore. And that's where we are. That's why this time is so magical, and we can't mess it up. So we can't skip steps, and we can't rush it, because we have to get it right. And we have to do it in a certain way where we are inclusive to everybody, because this humanity has not been based on that in a very long time. It's all about secluding, separating, dividing, war, hate, dividing us and separating us. And the power is in us coming together and recognizing that we are all beautiful sovereign beings, and we are all connected in the quantum field of energy. All of us are connected. And that's the thing that Eden was saying that I forgot to mention. We also have a web of connectivity that is positive. Just like the dark has the web of darkness and the queen bee that controls everybody. Our souls are all connected in a similar web of consciousness, where the knowledge is infinite, the amount of information is infinite, and it's for good. We're connected for a positive reason, for the light, not the way that they're pulling us. Because in the dark, everything is inverted. Is this making sense?
Yes, I just didn't want to interrupt you because you're on a roll, and that was absolutely fabulous. And folks, maybe rewind that last 5 minutes and listen to that again. No, it's absolutely fabulous. And it's important too, okay, so there's a couple of things you said in there. One of the things I've been struggling with maybe in the last, let's say 3 months. And it was funny because I've had this channel, I've had issues on this channel, as you know, and on Patreon and all this stuff. And a couple of times during this last year of me doing this work, I kept thinking, man, it's so frustrating. I have to start over again. They're beating me down, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I should just try something else. But every time I said that, even though I didn't think that, I was just weighing all of these options and seeing which one would fit. And every time I would bring back that idea into my field to see if it would resonate, I would get the hard no, fuck no, don't stop, right? So it was very serious. And now I'm getting the why. Maybe in the last 2 months, I'm getting the why. And a lot of people ask me, JC, why do you do so many shows? I'm doing 2-3 shows a day and all the pay-per-views. I'm like, because of what you just said, we have to come together. We have to share the information. This is now, not in a year, not in 2 years, not in 3 years, like now, yesterday, now type of thing, right? Yeah. And so I feel like sometimes I go to bed and I feel a little bit overwhelmed because I'm like, I'm not doing enough. Believe you me, that's what I'm thinking. I'm not doing enough because, like you, I have these weird, just call them dreams for the sake of this conversation, where I'm sitting at this table with other people, and mostly the auditorium. I don't do the boardroom table you're talking about so much, but the auditorium. And like all of this timing is critical, and we have to bring out a lot of this information. Again, we're trying to reduce the casualties, say it that way. And so I feel the pressure. And then sometimes I wake up, I'm like, guys, I'm just human. I can't do it all because I have 3D shit to deal with too. Like, the renos, the repairs to the house, all this stuff. And so anyways, as you were saying that too, it reminds me, and I hope that people in the audience can think about it too this way. Don't be too hard on yourself. Like, you are where you're supposed to be. You are, hurting. If you're hurting for a reason, there's an opportunity there to close one of those loops that Sherri's just talking about. And for a lot of us, when we hit those difficult periods, we kind of want to just quickly shut it away because it's hard to be in that process of fixing stuff, right? So we just want to move past it. And then what we'll realize is a week or two later or a month later, that same loop comes back again and there's something broken. It's kind of like universe telling you right now, hey, look, maybe for the first time in 16,000 years, we're telling you here, the energy is actually on your side and you can break this loop. So pay attention, right? Speak to that a little bit, Sherri, on how maybe some people try to go too fast out of the hurt phase or the difficult phase, and they don't stand there long enough to listen to what perhaps the opportunity is being presented to them.
Yeah. Well, first of all, getting out of the loop is difficult. Okay. It's uncomfortable. It requires a certain amount of healing and intention, and a lot of people don't want to do it. They're like, it hurts too much, and I'm right there with you. I've been in the same place where I'm like, no, I'll deal with that. I can't deal with that. Like, let's put that aside, and we'll get to that later. So we have to be patient with ourselves, because the message that I have received repeatedly is we are all healing at a soul level. Sherri is not healing. Jean-Claude is not healing. Everybody watching this is not healing. Our souls are healing. This is so much more profound. This is why this is such an incredible period, because the sessions that I do with people is not about healing them in this life. It's about healing their soul. We are, as a group, as a collective, going through a massive healing at a soul level, because our souls, at least those that have been on this planet, that have had many lives of trauma, that have been in this fear matrix, this web, there's just so much, and our souls need to heal, which is why we're merging all of the timelines together. So Sherri doesn't have, or this person doesn't have 10, 15, 100 lives. We clear the karma, the energy, we heal the soul, we do soul retrieval, we bring the timelines back together so that Sherri's soul has this one beautiful timeline right now, and we're living in the present moment. And Jean-Claude and everybody is doing their things to heal themselves, and then to also help others, because the ultimate goal is for us to be of service to others. But you cannot be of service to others until you put the work in yourself. And before I even put myself out there, I worked on myself for years and years, and had setbacks and times where I closed the book on my spirituality, and I said, I don't want it. It's so much easier to live in the matrix and just go to work every day, and you make your money, and you pay your bills, and maybe you go out to dinner, you watch some TV, you go to bed, you do it again. And sometimes that's easier than to really sit and unravel the pieces of you that need that healing because it's uncomfortable and it's awkward, and I empathize with that. But right now that's the stage that we're in, and we can't rush it. And there will be setbacks, and then there will be leaps and bounds of opportunity to move forward, and you know, and that's where we're in. But it's uncomfortable, but it's necessary, because as we all heal, you know, I see 2022 as an opportunity, like I keep speaking about, where we rebuild this and once things crumble, we have to rebuild. So it's going to be work, right? Like, it's not like I'm going to snap my fingers and my beautiful youth centers with all these laughing children and happy children are already in there and it's done. And all the medical, beautiful boutique healing centers that I keep seeing are going to be there. And all these beautiful communities are going to be established. No, like, it's going to take time, which is why we need everybody's participation. And so anybody watching this that says, oh, I can't leave my house, you know, the energies are too strong, I'm not contributing, I'm failing. Anybody from that point of view, all the way to someone out there doing even more work than you and I are doing, that don't sleep and they're nonstop, and everybody in between, we're all playing our role. We're all important, and we need to give ourselves a little bit of a pat on the back and have some gratitude for the work that we're doing. Because even if it doesn't seem like a lot, trust me, you are likely one of those people that are here for one of two reasons. Perhaps you are on the spiritual realm helping in a different way. So your body is not necessarily doing much in the physicality, because there's another aspect of you in that spiritual war participating in some other way, but then you're about to become activated very soon in the present, because then it'll be time to rebuild. Or you are here as a light body. You were literally, your purpose, and this may sound like it's meaningless, but it's not, is to bring your light, because the light reflects out and it expands, and we need light all over the planet, everywhere right now, because those people that are not awake, that are walking around with, you know, those and that, and just completely disconnected, you don't know what your light will do. Perhaps you are the trigger that wakes them up, because your light just seeps in one little crack in the auric field. Next thing you know, they wake up. Now, you may never know what you've done for somebody, but it's not about that. It's not about the reward or making a list of how many people you've helped. A lot of the people you help in your life, you may never know. And that's okay, because that's the aspect of the selflessness. It's being of service to others and not really necessarily following up and caring about how many people I helped, and compared to how many Jean-Claude has helped and how many Janine has helped. It's not about that. That's the ego, and that is the service to self, because I care too much about how many people I've helped, how many likes I've had, how many videos I've done. That is still 3D. We have to move forward and out of that and just say, I surrender. I connect, I am sovereign, I am light, and you expand your light and just accept that whatever you're capable of doing is enough. So some may be doing more than others, but I guarantee you at some point in your life, you'll be doing more than the person sitting next to you. And there's an ebb and flow, and that's okay. Everybody has their roles, you know, and so be patient with yourself. I don't even know if I answered your question.
Yes, you did. It's okay. It was perfect. And that thing about working maybe in sleep time too, where you're being pulled out of your physical body. We have a lot of viewers on the screen now who actually do that. And there was one person asking a question the other day through our live chat to Janine, and Janine's like, oh, pulling the cards, and like, yeah, absolutely, more than you think, actually. And you will actually go live here in your physical body. That's what the person was asking in that type of work. But once we go through whatever this fall, we'll use that term, is here before us. And what was funny, as Janine was saying that, I had the hard voice come in my head, ask her how you're connected, you, Jean-Claude, to this other person. And Janine pulls on her, she's like, okay, that's weird. Yeah, so I don't know who this person is. She lives somewhere across the pond in Europe. But apparently we are doing already some work. And again, for us, it was it looks like an amphitheater. We're teaching ETs, the benevolent ETs, how to interact with us so that we can have their assistance, but be the leaders of our own evolution. So that's going to be key here. So we were doing that type of prep work already. And maybe we were seeing it into the future. Of course, there's no time when you're out of body. So it was a little bit of a complicated story. But at any rate, we are having these conversations with other races who want to help us, but who understand that they can't do the work for us. We have to do the work. They'll be there to assist us. And there's going to be a lot of, not teaching, but maybe trial and error at the beginning, because they're so reluctant at this point in our evolution, once we get this bug off our back, to do anything for us. We need to do this for ourselves as humans. Yes, we can have help, but we can't rely on anybody else to do it. We have to do that work, as you're saying here. So I agree with you. Suddenly, when we see the shift, it's not all magic, smell the roses type of thing and sunshine. There's work to be done. And again, a lot of work. I know for some people too, probably not on this show, but that's difficult to hear, because no, I just wanted to go back to normal.
No, you don't. You don't.
You don't. No, that's the Dolores thinking, because she was programmed to want to go back to her loop, right? Until she realizes that it's a program, and then she walks out of her loop, and now she causes big problems for the controllers here. So you can go watch Westworld.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what's happening right now, is people are waking up out of their programming, and they are getting out of the loop. A lot of people are already out of the loop, and maybe they didn't realize it. And me saying it today, they're like, oh, wow, that makes total sense. I didn't think about it that way. Disconnect. And I just want to bring up one other important part of disconnecting from the programming is generational, what is it called? Generational illness. That does not exist. Okay. And this is something I've been getting very clear. It's a program. So all of those people out there that, I'm going to get breast cancer because my mom got breast cancer, my grandmother got breast cancer, so I'm going to get it. That's a program. So if you're thinking about it perpetually and worrying about it, that is what's calling the energy to you. It is not your DNA. We can shift and change. It's a projection. So let me show you how they program you. So every time you go to the doctor's office, they have these long
forms,
ridiculous forms of everything that mom's side has, and paternal grandfather, and all the fathers and the mothers, and you got to go through, and they're constantly having you think about it. Then you go to your children's doctor's office, they ask you the same thing. It never ends. Okay. And that is because they want you to constantly think about and worry about, oh my gosh, this has happened to them, I'm going to get it. And I'm telling you right now, that is not the case. And you can break the cycle. And you have likely got it because you have been programmed to believe that you will. And we need to disconnect from that, because it does not exist. It really doesn't. And that's another program that we need to disconnect from. You say, no, I know my mother got it, but I'm not getting it. I'm too high vibrational. Whatever you want to say, but it's a program. And that's another one that we need to disconnect from, because a lot of this generational trauma and all of this stuff, yes, to some extent it does exist, but we have the power to stop it. Because a lot of people that come to see me, they're like, I know I have generational sexual abuse and trauma that I want to clear so that my child doesn't get it. And I'm telling them, you can stop it now on your own. And I explain to them how to do that. And stop calling that energy, and stop putting any more energy, stop focusing any more energy to that, and say, I'm so grateful that I am healthy and I am vibrant, and my daughter, my son is healthy and vibrant. And it's all about getting out of that loop and reprogramming, because when you are in a high vibration, Jean-Claude, and everybody listening, your cells are going to replicate at the vibration you are in. So if you are chronically anxiety ridden, or in fear, or in worry, your cells in your body are going to regenerate in that vibration. If you are higher vibration, you're in gratitude and in love, your cells are going to replicate in that vibration, and you can break free from the cancer programming, or you can break free from whatever else, the other illnesses that we don't want to even bring attention to right now. It's all about taking your attention away from it, reprogramming. By repetition, by your thoughts. Our thoughts and our intention is something that everybody watching this today should walk away from. If anything that I've said that has touched anybody today, the theme, the thesis of the night is your intention is the most powerful thing we have. I did a session. Kids are amazing. God, I love the children. I taught a Reiki class the other night, okay, with a bunch of, they were 6 to 13-year-old kids, all both sexes, different parts of the world. And I asked one of the kids, I said, do you know what your the most powerful part of you is? And one of the kids spoke up and he said, yeah, it's your light. And I was like, oh my God, I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say your intention, but I was like, oh my God, you're so right. Like, yes, it is your light, but then also it's your intention. So like he caught me because he was right. Well, that's what I should have said. But anyways, Archie, that's my daughter when she was like 2.
Little
So
angel.
children are here to teach us things, and even I got called out by, I think he was like an 8-year-old. And I was like, God, you're right. It is your light. Yes, you're right. But our intention is equally as powerful. So if we expand our light, everybody should do this exercise moving forward every day. And this is going to raise your vibration, and it's going to make you very powerful in your own energy. I don't mean powerful like you control people, but powerful and empowered, and in control of yourself and your sovereignty. Visualize in the middle of your body your life force energy. We all have our own life force energy, our chi. There's a lot of different words for it. Visualize it as a white ball of just bright light in the middle of your stomach. It's somewhere in the middle of your body. And focus on it. Yes. Focus on the energy. Feel it. That is your life force energy. Not your person next to you, not your neighbor. It's yours and only yours. Nobody can take that life essence from you. And you visualize and expand that light. That ball of light is just expanding out bigger, 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 bigger until it's outside of you. And now you have this big ball of light, and it's so expansive that it just goes out for infinity in all directions. That is your life force energy. Use that power. So every day when you go out, you are not infiltrated by the energy, that environment that you can't control. And it raises your vibration. It protects you from the environmental energies and all the dark entities and things like that. And you will be walking around in the highest vibrational state. Your immune system will respond to it. You will feel emotionally balanced and better. And you will just feel like you can do anything. And if everybody did this exercise every day, and just before they walked out of the house, they visualized that light and then expanding out so it's as far in every direction as possible, they will have a completely different day. The trajectory will shift completely.
Absolutely. I was like, I couldn't wait to say what I have to say because you said a few key words. I'm like, I know. I'm so excited to share this. So 2 things. Again, in Westworld, Dolores eventually takes a charge of her own energy and she changes her program. She literally gets the codes or the keys to change her program. This is what Sherri is talking about here. There's different ways to do that. And as Sherri was talking about chi, prana, kundalini, whatever you want to call it, we're talking about that energy source in your tantien, in your lower belly. This book, Healing Love through the Taoists, they talk about how when you hold these frequencies for an extended period of time, not the typical, I don't even get into that conversation, but when you can hold it and hold a higher charge for a longer time, your cells realign, reprogram. So we do absolutely have the ability to close those karmic loops, those traumas, and to reprogram your body in the frequency of health that you want to see. Absolutely. And some of these things are 2,000 years old they're talking about here. And it's just now coming back to the surface. We've had this, of course, through mystery schools and all that. But now it's coming accessible to everyone innately. Without reading the book, we're starting to remember that, like Dolores, we can change our loop. And if that's the case, and once you do it just the one time and you realize you have that power, and it could be a small loop, doesn't need to be a generational satanic ritual abuse loop, but whatever loop you change and you realize you can, oh my God, imagine the possibilities.
Yeah, it's life-changing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why I wanted to talk about that today, because it's not just a message for the children. It's a message for everybody right now to change your life by getting out of the loop. Don't give your power away anymore. Yeah. Don't allow that person to get you upset. Who are they? You're in control. I'm in control. You're in control, not them. And as soon as we realize that and we break through that loop and we're tap into that quantum field of energy that I talk about, the quantum field that I use on a daily basis to help heal people in my sessions, it's infinite. That's why I had an interview recently with, I don't know who at this point, honestly, maybe it was Nicholas, but I was talking about everybody's trying to focus their attention on what they want the reality to look like, or they want the old system to come back with a different leader. And I'm like, stop being so narrow-minded. Tap into the quantum field of energy, which the possibilities are infinite, and it may look completely different than you're focusing your energy on right now. It could be way better. It could be better than you ever dreamed of. We are limited by our imagination, especially in this third dimensional fear matrix. So you're not going to be able to think really that expansive. But if you raise in consciousness, tap into a higher reality, you're like, whoa, I didn't even think of that. That's incredible. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
And imagine that telepathy on a wider scale, where people start having these inner knowings, whether that's the quantum field, the Akashic records, or whatever, and start permeating that information throughout the field. I mean, those controllers that keep duping us at a certain point, it just doesn't work, because we're like, oh yeah, we see you. You know what I mean? That's amazing. And the quantum field thing too, I don't know if it was with you, but a couple of shows ago too, I talked about this medicine woman who was teaching how to do the rain dance. And so they had these people from National Geographic's trying to capture the moment. And of course, when it rained, all the cameramen were like, oh my God, how'd you do that? What'd you ask for? And, you know, and she says, I didn't ask for anything. I was in gratitude for the rain I had already received. So I brought my heart frequency into that gratitude of feeling the rain through my toes and the sand and all that. And the universe responded because it has no choice. That's how it's built. But we are not taught this information. We are taught through the fear matrix to create basically the mechanisms of our own imprisonment. And this is what Sherri is talking about here. We can absolutely break that. And we are moving into this amazing new world for us humans. But we have to go through some of those little steps here before we get there. There's work.
Yeah. And, you know, we're co-creating. We're all co-creators of this world. Mm-hmm. So if a large percentage of us is focusing on the dark and the control and the fear, you know, it's slowing everything down. And that's why in a lot of my sessions, you know, the message that I've received from the higher self or some guides is that, because they're like, what's the delay? What's taking so long? I'm ready to work. I'm ready to do this. And the message that they receive is, we're waiting for humanity to catch up. If you put yourself out there right now, that you would have, nobody would be, the people that you're meant to help and guide aren't ready yet. So you have to just hang on. So right now we're all co-creating. And that's why if everybody would just do the breathing exercise that I've said a million times and say, any and all energy that no longer serves my highest good, and I choose to release it now, and you do that 2 minutes of breathing every single day with the intention, again, it's more powerful when you truly believe it, where you release all that energy. Get rid of all of that energy in your auric field and within the body that no longer serves you. All the fear energy, the worry energy, the sadness, the anxiety, all of its energy. We have the choice to remove it. And then you empower yourself by expanding your light. If everybody on the planet did that at the same time in one day, oh my God, it would be magical, wouldn't it? Because this would be over. Because our light would would shift and transmute all the other people's light that is still dim because they're not awake yet. We could do that. We have the power to do that. And that's what a lot of people are saying in their interviews and the psychics, and saying, you know, we just have to reach a point where there's enough light. And I believe we've reached that point. I really do. I believe we have already reached that point, which is why I feel comfortable saying that we have won, even though it may not appear. Just watch, man. Just watch, because there isn't a lot of time left.
Every hour of every day right now, you're seeing the winning. We don't have to get into this show of the politics stuff or anything else with the airlines, but there's big players taking a big step back right now, realizing that we called their bluff and they got nothing. And so we'll just leave it at that for this show. Deirdre Porter saying, I was wondering, does sexual energy help with manifestation? Yes, absolutely it does. You might want to check out the book, The Magdalene Manuscript and the Alchemies of Horus. On that note, that's a whole other show. But yes, absolutely. It's a matter of energy. How much energy, attention, intention you put to manifestation. Of course, they all go together. And that is a big energy source that can be transmuted through the Taoist perspective, also from a life force to a healing force to a manifestation force. Again, these are all innate abilities of us humans that has been segregated, occulted from our knowledge. And that is a big topic to have. And I tend to get in trouble when I get too much into that here on YouTube, and I lose channels for this one. So thank you for the question, but maybe join me on my pay-per-view. I have the Kundalini Secrets Reveals episodes 1 through 4, and also Kundalini Rising that touch on this subject, Yuri. So if you're interested in that, go check that out. Sherry, as we go, I need to go. I have to prepare for this other show. What's next coming up here on your channel? Any new animations coming up, new interviews you're excited to share with the audience? And also, how can we support you on your website and through booking sessions with you also?
Yeah, I have I have an interview with Carly and Julia later this week, which probably won't air until Sunday. I have one with Michael Jaco coming up next week. There's an animation. The 6th one is in production right now. The 5th one is my favorite. If any of you, please like, share, and share these videos, because children need to watch them. And adults, I have so many adults that have reached out and said, I love these more than the kids, you know. Share it. I'm very passionate about this project, and I have an amazing partner, Cami DeMario. She created the character, like the way they look and a lot of the animation. She's incredible, and we're such a great team, and we're doing this for the children. You know, this is for the children to learn what they should be learning in school, and this is a kind of an introduction to my vision of what children will be learning in the youth centers. So please check them out, share them. They're incredible, and they have such great messages. And right now we're introducing animal characters, so my pets are in the next one. We have a Doberman and a Sphinx coming in the next episode. I'm really excited to bring my pets. We can
hear it in the background now.
That's the one in the background. Sorry guys, I can't get up and do anything about it. But they're incredible, and it's just my heart project. So that will be coming up soon. Other than that,
how are the booking sessions right now? You mentioned at the beginning of the show, parents are reaching out to you. They're recognizing perhaps that some of their children have these off-world connections here, and they're trying to struggle to understand what's going on in their families. Do you still have time to do these one-on-ones? Where is your calendar right now in terms of bookings?
I do. Unfortunately, I'm booked into February of next year right now, and I am overbooked. I have a waiting list of, I think, 40 or 50 people at this point. I wish there were 2 or 3 of me. I do try to prioritize children, so I am squeezing the children in, and that's why I'm just overbooked right now. So unfortunately, I don't have anything until January at the earliest, February. So I apologize for that. And again, anybody watching this that has emailed me and I have not gotten back to you, I'm so sorry. I cannot keep up. Every time I make a dent, a bunch of them come in, and I want to scream. So I apologize. I'm not purposely ignoring people when they email me, because, you know, I'm not the type of person that's going to send a 1-word response. People like send me their really detailed questions, and like I have to put some thought into that. I'm not just going to email them, you know. So work with me. I
know. I had lunch with my mom earlier today, and I brought my laptop, and I just knew, because right now I'm so behind on emails, and I showed her the screen and the number of emails that are in there. She's like, you what? She couldn't put her head around the number of emails. I'm like, Mom, I was up till 2 a.m. last night. I was up at 7 this morning, knowing that I had to do emails almost all day so that I can do these shows today and then get back to the emails tonight. So hopefully to get back at somewhat of a normal volume. But right now, and this is why, again, I was telling you guys earlier in the show, I feel like I can't stop. There's so much work to be done, and all these people contacting us, whether it's for their personal information or their personal knowing of things that are happening to them right now, their new realizations, they want to share that and all that. There's just so much. And again, I can't possibly respond to everyone either. And again, I want to apologize, but at the same time, I can't apologize. I'm like, Sherri can't apologize, and we shouldn't be apologized. We're doing amazing work. It's hard work. We're out here. We need you guys to take those battlefield promotions and start your own YouTube channel, start your own Twitter, BitChute, whatever it is. Start a community group in your local area and start talking about this stuff. Prepare people for what's coming, and build those community leaders that are going to create the new as opposed to fixing the old. It's on you, each and every one of you, because you are me and I'm you. There you go. All right, folks. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight on this quantum healing. We'll be back probably in the next 2 weeks. Sherri and I will just share a few emails here.
We have the show coming up with Janine in a couple of weeks. The three of us.
Yes, that's true. Actually, thank you for reminding me. Let me see if I can bring that up on the poster for the audience. I'll go to the live streams. There's so many already in the queue. But you're there. Where are you? Wait. You're supposed to be there. Why are you not there? Is this not refreshed? Oh, maybe I don't have it refreshed yet because I don't have your. Oh, yeah. I did a draft poster for you and Janine, and I didn't send it yet for your approval. So that's why it's not on the board. So that's November 5th, I believe it is. 5th,
yeah. We'll do a special episode on the children.
Right. Okay, yep. So coming up, folks, don't miss that one. And tonight, this is a special episode with Janine and Medina, actually, is how you pronounce her name, Trauma Soul Healing. So please join us for that. And that is going to be at 9 o'clock Eastern. We pushed it back. Typically, we do the 8 o'clock, but Janine is teaching right now.
I have to go let her in, so I got to go to that.
Right, exactly. So you see, folks, we're all connected, and there's a lot of work to do. So again, a big thank you to everyone for joining us. And I love you guys. Have a great evening. We'll see you soon.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Au revoir.